President Biden, today I had the chance to visit Carlingford Castle. High on a hill, it was likely the last glimpse of Ireland the Finnegans saw as they set sail for America with courage and hope. It wasn't, mate, because if you set sail from Carlingford Castle, the only place you're going to end up is Liverpool. Right, this is going to be a video briefly covering Bungalow Biden's trip to Ireland because the bloke ticks every box for really bad European stereotypes about clueless American tourists who wade knee deep into situations they know absolutely nothing about. And I have to point out, Joe Biden has been saying pig ignorant, ridiculous, stupid things since he was in his 40s. He was an idiot when he was 40. Do you think he's going to be much cleverer now he's 80? Does that sound sensible to you? I may be Irish, but I'm not stupid. Joe Biden's controversial comments on Ireland. You're not stupid, Joe. Really? When I hear you talk, I'm left thinking that there should just be a picture of you in the dictionary under the definition of stupid. You strike me as being the first ever world leader with Velcro shoes and rubber underwear. And just so you know, Carlingford Castle is roughly here, just southeast of Warren Point, where Joe Biden's mates blew up a load of young men in 1979. But don't think I'm done just talking about his geographic ignorance. There's plenty more where that came from. Joe Biden mocked after Hunter has to explain child's question in Ireland. I am so embarrassed for my country. What you doing letting 8-year-olds talk to him? What you doing? Miss St. Pierre's proven that everybody has to be aggressively vetted before they talk to the doddering old fool. Don't be letting 8-year-olds in the same room with him, because they just say exactly what's on their mind. And things like that can confuse a man with the intellectual capacity of a chicken McNugget. What's the top step to success, the child asked the president. What's the top what? Biden responded. Steps to success, the child answered. Biden responded that the way to be successful is to stop COVID-19 from spreading. Oh, well, making sure we don't all have COVID. What? Why? What are we talking about here? There is a video, but the audio's pretty bad.
What's the top steps to success? Well, making sure that we don't all have COVID. What are you talking about?
That's to success. Like, what's the key to success?
I love how his son pops up there, quickly interjects. Dad, go home. You're pissed. You can imagine that's what it's like if he's in the bar with him. Biden will have a few shots of Jameson and he'll be like, I've shagged your mum. Go home, Dad. You've had too many. Biden confuses All Blacks rugby team with brutal police force. President Joe Biden made a gaffe during his visit to Ireland on Wednesday as he confused a rugby team with a controversial 1920s era British police force. He said, see this tie? I was given it by one of those guys right there who's a hell of a rugby player who beat the hell out of the black and tans. Did he? And after he'd done that, did he ride home on his mystical unicorn? You gibbering simpleton. Cherry Adams, a President Biden selfie. He probably has no idea who he is, to be fair. He probably thought he was meeting Santa Claus. Let me just finish up with this. You often hear a lot of people saying that Irish Americans, usually they're about as Irish as a chicken tikka masala. But the reason a lot of people complain about them can be summed up very simply in like 2 sentences. The reason Irish Americans irritate people, especially the Irish, is because they hail from one of the most powerful, probably the most powerful, and oppressive countries on earth, but they love to indulge in these infantile, rebel underdog fantasies, which is harmless enough if you're just having a crack with your mates back in Boston or whatever. But when self-serving American politicians like Joe Biden use it in their relations with foreign countries, especially with the British, they think it gives them the right to punch up, which the woke love talking about, punch up at the nasty oppressors, because the multi-millionaire president of the free world, 40-year politician who drone strikes babies when it's politically expedient for him. It allows him to present himself as the plucky, rebellious underdog. It's laughable and it's ludicrous. And that wasn't hyperbole, by the way. Some imbecile was having a pop at me on Twitter. Biden doesn't drone strike families. Yes, he does. 10 family members, including children, dead after US strike in Kabul. That was expressly political. A couple of days after the botched Afghanistan withdrawal, because he wanted to look strong and tough, so half-cocked he dropped a few bombs and killed a load of women and kids. This is the man now presenting himself as the plucky underdog, alongside his pal Jerry there. Nice one. 2 baby killers in one picture. I'm loving it. They all talk about speaking truth to power. Well, I've just done it. Let's see what YouTube makes of it, shall we? Let's see. Go home, Joe. Go back to embarrassing yourself and showing your ignorance on domestic policies, rather than embarrassing yourself and showing your staggering ignorance on foreign policy issues. Yes, cheers, mate. See you later. Thanks for watching, ladies and gents. Much appreciated, as always. Have a great weekend. Cheers.